What's up, guys? Trev here. Today I am taking a look at the newest release of Hot Wheels Car Culture Team Transport. This is mix 4 for the year. It is the final mix of 2025. There is the UPC if you want to try and find these in store. I've seen these hitting Targets. I've seen people finding them at Target. Yeah, there is one very anticipated release in this set I'm going to take a look at, but we're going to go through the other two. Well, we're going to go through all of them. We're going to start off, though, here with the Lykan Hypersport with the Euro hauler. All right, so crack this thing open. And here we are. So, let's take the plastic piece out. Oh. It's actually it's stuck in there. All right. Oh my God, there's a lot of plastic in here. Why is there so much plastic? Okay, so this is the Euro hauler, metal base. The roof here is plastic. The sides are metal. I think this part's also metal too. So the side here is metal, plastic. Back opens up. A lot of space in there. You get some rear deco. You have the side. I think that's the W Motors logo. It's got the 8-hole off-road wheel. It's a big black hauler that exists, and I really don't care for it that much. We're just gonna put that right there. All right, here's the Lykan. So the W Motors Lykan Hypersport. This is this hauler, by the way, this came out in 2020. It was first released with the IWC 300 SL. Seen several releases since. But the W Motors Lykan Hypersport, this is a very rare car. W Motors was founded in 2012. They are a UAE-based company, and they only ever made 7 of these Lykan Hypersports. Only 7 of these exist in the world. It was priced at $3.4 million, so not cheap. It has a 3.7-liter twin-turbocharged flat-6 engine that allegedly made 740 horsepower and allegedly had a top speed of 245 miles per hour. Allegedly, because those numbers were never verified or tested, probably because they made an entire 7 of them. So there's been no independent tests done. It's just been W Motors saying, the car can do this and this, but they don't actually have anyone to prove it. This was featured in Furious 7, though, the Fast and Furious movie, which is actually what the first edition of this car was from. It was from a 2021 release of Fast and Furious. I think it was Fast Stars, I think the mix was called. It was when they actually named the sets, and it wasn't just some generic collection of Fast and Furious cars thrown into an assortment. But the Fast and Furious Lykans were not real Lykans. They were clones. They had, instead of having carbon fiber bodies, they were fiberglass. The chassis were more simple. Basically, they didn't want to use actual $3.4 million hypercars, so they used copies. And I think one of the 10 Fast and Furious replicas was kept by Lykan. The other 9 were destroyed. But yeah, this is the 3rd version from Hot Wheels. As I said, came out in 2021. Originally, it was this red one for Fast and Furious. Then it came out in Boulevard in 2022 in all black, which is my favorite release. And now we have it here in silver. You have the black 10 spokes on it. There's the back with the taillights and other detailing. There's a little W Motors badge there. Here's the front with more deco. Some stuff printed on the top. It is in a silver finish, and I would like this, but here's the problem with this casting. Wheels. This was an issue with the Fast and Furious release. The 10 spokes that they use, the back is too wide for them. So if you notice, they kind of sink, they do sink into the wheel well. So you have this sort of, they go way too far in if you notice. And this happens with a lot of Lamborghini castings. I think the Aventador, the Reventon Roadster, they both have the issues where the back wheels would sink. And they actually fixed it in 2022 because they gave it the deep dish 6 spokes, which actually fill the wheel well much nicer. And oh, mine is a bit of a messed up tire. That's fine. I can just go. There we go. But notice how, like, when you're looking at this from the side, or from an angle, really, it's nice and flush. You look at this from an angle, it's really, it recedes and it just looks off. So as nice as the execution of this model is, I like the silver, like that we're seeing another version of the Lykan. This is a bit of a disappointment for this mix. It's the one weak link just because of the rear wheels, them not using the 6 spokes, them using the 10 spokes. It really kind of throws off the back end, and that's been an issue with this casting, which I thought they resolved, but no, they went ahead and used the 10 spokes anyway. They just brought them back for some reason. All right, maybe licensor approval, I don't know. Next one, the Toyota AE86 Sprinter Torino with the Fleet Street. If this is like any other mix, this would be the popular hot model, but not the case for this one. Let me take that out, put that over here. Actually, I'll make a trash pile over there off to my right. All right, Fleet Street. This came out originally in 2022. It was with the Modal R34, Liberty Walk R34. It's got the weird kind of old style Real Riders. This kind of weird wheel. You have the ramp, the flatbed there, and it goes like that. Goes out, I think, more. Oh, cool. Does this like actually flatten on the ground, or? Yeah, it does. Look at that. So then you can take your Toyota and go, oh, it scraped it, ruined the car. It's got like spare tires on the top here in the casting. You have the front detailing. Got some lights on the top, some side trim. There's the back. This is, I don't care. This doesn't have any deco on it. It's just a red and black. Actually, I do like that it matches the AE86. The deco on the AE86, it actually matches up with it nice with the red and the black with the stripe. I actually don't hate that. A lot of the times with Team Transport, they have to use these generic haulers for licensing purposes. It would just be way too expensive to make a uniquely tooled and licensed hauler for each release, because it's like you can't put like a Toyota on a Fiat hauler or a Chevy C10 or whatever. So they're very sparing with the licensed haulers. It's just easier to make a bunch of generic toolings and put the cars on them, so it just makes licensing and budget a lot easier. All right, the A86, this generation was produced from 1983 to 1985. It has a DOHC 16-valve inline-4 engine, and most people know it. You probably know it from its role in Initial D, where it was in white. Very iconic car. Probably the poster child for Initial D was the white AE86. But this red version is also very iconic in terms of look. It's one of the factory colors with the red, with the black striping. You have the Torino there. GTV twin cam 18. You have the 6 spokes here, the tiny 6 spokes, which look really nice on this model. There's the front deco. Looks nice. Got some window trim. There's the back. Toyota Torino. Very nice. Toyota A86 Sprinter Torino. Very, very nice. I like it. I like the red and the black. If they're going to, I don't think they can do the iconic white and black Panda livery. I think there might be licensing issues, but this is like a very nice version. One of the more iconic ones. This casting also came out in 2020. I believe it was the first new Toyota casting that came out since Hot Wheels had regained the Toyota license after losing it for about a couple years. This was in Boulevard in late 2020 in this kind of pearl white version. It's gotten several releases. It quickly moved to the main line in Falcon liveries, and it's been everywhere. It's gotten more premium versions and all that. But this Team Transport livery is very nice. There's like a little mark there. Not super noticeable, but it is there. Windows are extremely blacked out. There should be an interior in there. There is. Kind of. Anyway, this is the moment you've been waiting for. I know, we're like, okay, we have the Toyota. Toyota's cool. Lykan is a disappointment. But this is probably what you're going to get the set for. The Ferrari 250 GTO and the Fiat 642 RN2 Bartoletti Transporter number 83. Also, by the way, if you don't know, Team Transport sets, it's 3 models to a set, but they come in cases of 4, so one model gets doubled up. There is 2 Ferraris in here. Thank goodness there's 2 Ferraris in here, because this is the one everyone's going to want. Actually, a very smart decision by Mattel when choosing the duplicate, because sometimes, like, I remember there was one set where, gosh, like, what was in it? I don't remember what was in it. It was, like, 2 really nice sets, and that was, like, the 300 SL. Oh, it was the 300 SL with the re-release of the Blau Wonder Mercedes hauler. And then it had the Liberty Walk, Ken Mary Skyline, and then the Nova with the new Chevy truck. And they duplicated the Mercedes, and it peg warms. I still see it in stores. All right, here is the hauler. This thing's heavy. The base is metal. This part here is metal, and then this part is plastic. So this is a bus. This is a bus made by Fiat, and it was converted into a racing transporter by Ferrari themselves. So, yeah, this is a very iconic. The wheels are nice. It is red with a chrome lip. Nice to see. Ferrari Automobili Modena Italia. I'm probably butchering all that. You have the side deck. This thing does not feel like a Hot Wheel. It really feels like something more premium. Just the way it's constructed and built, all the details and such. There's the... Is that metal? No, this is, I think, plastic. Yeah, this is plastic. This is part of this top piece. There's the back. You have deco on there. Looks very nice. The top has some deco here for the metal there, the metal kind of diamond pattern. Front looks really nice. This thing is really sweet. The deco is just awesome. The way they executed it's such a good hauler, and this actually comes out like that. So this actually comes out, so you can load up your cars. Magically, you'll have to get them onto the top. I don't exactly know how, but you're gonna have to figure that out. All right, here it is, Ferrari 250 GTO. This car was manufactured from 1962 to 1964. It was produced for homologation into the FIA's Group 3 Grand Touring car class. It has a Tipo 168-62 Colombo V12 engine. Powerful engine. And the 250 in the name stands for the displacement in cubic centimeters of each cylinder in this car. And the GTO stands for Gran Turismo Omologato, which just translates to Grand Touring Homologated. Wow. This is known as like one of the most valuable collector cars ever. In fact, back in 2018, one of these cars sold for $70 million. It is a very, very collectible car. This Hot Wheels version is actually based on the one that Nick Mason owns, this number 22 deco with the yellow striping, which, if you don't know him, he's the drummer for Pink Floyd. So that's what this livery is based on. He owns that 250 GTO. And here it is. Now, this is a brand new casting. Hot Wheels did have a 250 GTO back in the day. I don't actually even see a copyright date on this, but all Ferrari castings coming out now are built from scratch. And, you know, I gotta say, yeah, you look at, like, the proportions and the stance. This is more kind of like a Hot Wheels sort of rake to it. You can see that there's kind of a bit of a rake. This seems more low to the ground. The fenders seem way more exaggerated. I think just the stance it has, you kind of just look at them, and this one I think just has more of that racing contour. But one thing I really like, chrome rims. Yes, I always say, like, dull gray rims just don't hit a lot of the times. This, though, the chrome, yes. I absolutely love it. You have the 22 roundel there. You have the yellow spot there on there. There's the kind of yellow stripe. Very nice. You have the window trim there. There's the back, the taillights. The exhaust, I think, are a part of the... Is it actually a separate piece? Let me look in the interior there. I think the exhaust is actually a separate piece. So you have the brake there, which is really cool. Here's the other side. Gosh, this casting's really good. There's the front with all the detail in there. Headlights, the Ferrari, the prancing horse there. There's the top. Really cool. This is really nice. That is that mix of Team Transport. This set is so cool. Oh, by the way, you can fit 3 cars on this. What should we take? I brought out all the current Hot Wheels Ferraris that we've gotten. We have I think the 312P is pretty appropriate. And we can slide this out and put the 365 in here as well. Oh, he's too wide. 312P go down in here then. Oh, okay, he barely fits. He barely fits. There we go. Look at that. Bunch of old, I guess, vintage racing Ferraris in that hauler. Pretty sweet. But yeah, I mean, Hot Wheels and Ferrari have had a very fruitful partnership so far. I just showed the 312P. That came with the 499P Modificata. We had the 499P in Car Culture, which was also the Chase. We now have the 250 GTO, the Fiat hauler. We had the LaFerrari come out in Euro Speed. We had the SF90 Stradale hit the main line. This hit the main line. F40 hit the main line. There's more stuff coming. More main lines, more premiums. F1 is hitting as well. But this set is quite strong. I like the Toyota is really nice. The Lykan, I'm sorry, buddy. If they would have given you the right back wheels, this would have been another really good one, but I'm sorry. But the Ferrari is just one of the coolest sets that they've, I think, ever done ever. It's really nice. Yeah, that's the newest Team Transport mix with this awesome Ferrari. Good luck hunting out there. Hopefully you can find it, and yeah, later.